What's up, Bulls Nation? My name is Aiden and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to be discussing the Chicago Bulls, and more specifically, we're going to be talking about Zach LaVine ranking 20th in overall guards in terms of the best NBA guards list. This is an article I'm going to be reading from Sports Illustrated suggesting that ranking. So we're going to be discussing, I guess, what they have to say, my opinions, and everything in between. But before we get started, if you like the video and you want to see more from me, drop a like, drop a follow, and or subscribe. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls and whether or not you believe Zach LaVine is the 20th best NBA guard. Now, before I get any further, I have to reiterate, it's not shooting guards. It's not like it's shooting guards only. This is obviously point guards and shooting guards. Basically, anybody that has played guard over the past season, I believe, will be put in this category. And I don't necessarily know who's ahead of him and who's behind him. All I know is that he finished 20th in terms of NBA guards. What they said about him is that he's an elite finisher, an elite bucket getter, but there are questions about whether or not he can actually lead a team. And then they also went on to suggest that he did brush off a very slow start to have a very good end to the season. And basically, they still said in the prime of his career, he's still a very, very good athlete. His defensive impact on winning can be fairly questioned. I'd arguably say he's getting better in that department as well. And he's one of 9 players to average 23 points per game or more each of the last 5 years. So he's getting his reputation up there as a prolific scorer. We know that. He's definitely getting better and working harder in that department. But Zach LaVine, there's a lot of questions about him. I think this article is kind of spot on in terms of what are the strengths and what are the weaknesses of Zach LaVine, and what is being put into question about him to put him 20th as an NBA guard. Essentially, you know, he is being questioned in terms of leadership and being able to lead a team into the playoffs and lead a team into contention, because he is our number one guy. He's paid like our number one guy, so he should be treated as our number one guy. And you know, City has been our number one guy with this new team. We've not really gotten very far with him, unfortunately. So, yes, those questions will begin to be asked. And I always say this, when it comes to Zach LaVine, it's about proving people wrong. There's nothing else that can be said. He needs to prove people wrong. It's the only way that things are going to change in terms of leadership, in terms of defense, in terms of everything. Arguably, I say Zach LaVine is getting better defensively every single season. Some people might not agree with me with that. I don't know what the stats are looking like, but the eye test, in my opinion, what I see, he still has a lot of work to do off the ball. Sometimes he's sleeping on defense, allows backdoor cuts to happen. Sometimes he doesn't help correctly. But one-on-one defensively, I think he's very, very good. He uses his athleticism really nicely, and he stays in front of people on a one-on-one basis. It's only when Zach LaVine gets, I guess, matched up with someone that's really strong, where it's a mismatch advantage in terms of the strength department. That's where I see Zach LaVine's weaknesses really shine in terms of the defensive end. But mostly when it comes to guarding guards one-on-one, he does use his athleticism to his advantage, and he's a solid defender one-on-one, if I do say so myself. But again, put it to question, that's fine. Zach LaVine being a premier athlete, that's fine as well. Zach LaVine being a bucket getter, that's fine as well. These are all accurate things about Zach LaVine. We know he's an elite scorer. We know he's a premier athlete. So I think 20th is not a bad ranking to give him. When you have to realize that we're talking about not just point guards, but shooting guards. We're talking about every guard. So you got to bring guys like Luka, like Steph, like Dame, like Devin Booker, and all these other guys into the category. And you can kind of understand and add the numbers up to where Zach LaVine might fit into the conversation. But he's still an elite guard. He's still a fantastic player. And if you're ranking just shooting guards, he's still going to be up there very high on that list. So we got to be mindful of those things. When you're adding point guards into the mix and you're adding, you know, all these types of guards with all these different roles, it's going to be hard to assess which ones are good, which ones are bad, and it's going to be hard to rank them all together. But I think 20 is an okay score, you know, and we'll have to wait and see, I guess, where things go from that department and how Zach LaVine can improve that score. Is it the score that I'd like to see? Personally, as a biased Bulls fans, I guess you could say, you know, there's always an element of bias in there. I think Zach LaVine can be higher than 20th overall in terms of guards. I think he can work his way there. But let's hope a whole, not necessarily 82-game season, but a whole season of Zach LaVine at his best, instead of having a slow start and missing a lot of games because of a knee injury, then coming back over and having a slow start. They're picking himself up post All-Star break. Hopefully a full season of the best version of Zach LaVine will carry him over into a higher standing in terms of the NBA guards, because that is what I'm expecting from Zach LaVine, and I think that's what all Bulls fans are truly hoping for. Because if you see that version of Zach LaVine with everybody else on the team doing their own role, with DeMar DeRozan playing his game, we know how consistent he is, with Vucevic working, and with Kobe White getting better, and Patrick Williams getting better, and Ayo getting better, and Caruso being a defensive juggernaut, with all the new additions to the team, we have a squad there that can maybe go and not challenge for a title, but challenge the East and make the East competitive. Make sure we're not a forgotten team in the Eastern Conference. I think that is something that we need to aim and strive for, and Zach LaVine is a big part of that. So that's what I'm hoping for. In terms of an overall score, I think it's completely fair to put Zach LaVine 20th. I'd like to see him a little bit higher on the list, you know, work his way down, and I hope he gets an opportunity to do that. With every sort of criticism I've seen with the Chicago Bulls, whether the Bulls, where they're going to finish, DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, Vucevic, how the Bulls coaching staff is looking like, how the Bulls front office is keeping the team the same. Every criticism that has come the Chicago Bulls way, I've always said the same thing. It's up to the Bulls to prove them wrong. People still call DeMar DeRozan overrated. Apparently, he's top 5, I guess, most overrated players, according to a Bleacher Report, I think. That wasn't too long ago when that story came out about DeMar DeRozan. So he has to prove them wrong. It's as simple as that. It's another work of DeMar DeRozan trying to prove people wrong. Keep stirring the pot and let's see if DeMar DeRozan responds, saying the Bulls are going to get nowhere. Every single person under the sun thinks the Bulls are going to be a 500 team next season. Literally, 99% of people believe that. The only way for the Bulls to really climb out of that hole is to start proving people wrong. That's what they have to do. That's the target they have on their back, trying to prove people wrong. Will they be able to do it? I sincerely hope so, because that's when you're going to get the best version of the Chicago Bulls for all 82 games, when they have a point to prove and when they've been doubted and counted out for the majority of people. And let's hope they do respond well to that instead of fall into the reality of things, and that is the Bulls might just be that 500 team that people are saying that they are. Let's wait and see. And that's how I feel about Zach LaVine and his 20th rank overall with the Chicago Bulls, or with the NBA guards list. I don't know who's ahead of him, so maybe people can make arguments. You know, maybe there's someone criminally ahead of him that people have an argument about. I don't know. I haven't seen the list. So maybe I should have done my due diligence and looked at the entire list. But again, we're talking about the Bulls here. We're talking about Zach LaVine, and I don't really have too much else to say, except if Zach LaVine wants to climb that ladder, it's time to start proving people wrong and get this Bulls team to where it needs to be. Forget about everybody else. Forget about the list. Focus on the Bulls and focus on trying to get somewhere that we need to be, and that is at a high standing in the Eastern Conference, a competitive team in the Eastern Conference. If we can accomplish that, I think the rewards will come for everybody on this team. But that's going to be me for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. Drop a like and a follow/subscribe if you are new, and I will see you in the next Chicago Bulls related video. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay tuned for more. Take care and peace.